There are so many knife designs that have been done these days that it is almost impossible to not have knives that are very, very similar. But are these knives too close to kin, or is it completely an accident? It just depends on who you talk to. So we're going to look at a couple of knives from a couple of different companies that are really similar to a couple of knives from a couple of other companies. So let's turn this around and take a look at some of these knives that are very close in design language. All right, guys, like I said, there are so many knives that are being made these days, and just by default, with so many designs coming out, you're going to have knives that are similar. Some of it's by design because some people like the design that are made and they emulate it, and some are just completely by accident. So we're going to start with these two, and then we'll move to these two. So let's go ahead and get these out of the way and go ahead and crack into this. So this is a PMP Big Boy. And this is my buddy's Shirogorov. Now, I can't tell you the actual model of this, but, you know, basically all Shiros have the same genealogy, the larger ones like this. I know that there's some other ones that are out there, like the Neon and things like that. But this is typically what I think of when I see a Shirogorov. And this one's in titanium, S90V, very, very iconic knife design. And this PMP Big Boy is every bit its cousin. And like I said, back home, we like to say things like this are too close to kin. Those of you that know what I'm talking about, kissing cousins, stuff like that. This is basically a fat Shiro. Now, there are definite design changes. This is not a copy. This is not a counterfeit. This is a knife that is just very similar to this knife. But I'm going to tell you right now, I find this knife to be a better knife for me. It's in LMAX. I'm sorry, not in LMAX. It's in 14C28N, titanium, and it's a little bit bigger. It fills my hand better. This design here really isn't my favorite knife that is out there. I think that the Shirogorovs, this specific one, are overpriced, and you really don't get that much for it. If you look, this is a lot thicker blade stock, a lot thicker behind the edge. Even though I do love S90V, this is a much broader blade on a thinner blade stock that gets you a better behind the edge thickness and cuts better. As far as the changes in this is not as comfortable in hand for me because I have bigger hands. I find this larger version to be a little bit better. And this knife is significantly lighter than the other one. I think that the action on the cheaper one is better. Now, I'm not going to get you prices because I know that this is an insanely, you're looking at about $800 for these knives. Anywhere between $600 and $800 for a Shirogorov. And they are very good knives. I just don't think that you really get that much more out of this knife than you do out of this one. As a matter of fact, the carry experience with this and the action on this, in my opinion, are better. I like 14C28N. The action on this is just insane. Now, there are some things that are definitely different. This is a much more refined machining on this knife. The way that this is done, the clean lines on this, the tailor-made pocket clip that matches are definitely better. But for a day-to-day carry, this is a great, great knife. Absolutely a great knife. It's got a really nice, comfortable pocket clip, no hot spots. It sits in pocket nicely, and it's not a knife you would be afraid to pull out and use if you need to. When you start spending upwards of, almost what used to be a used car back in the day on a knife, you're a little bit more hesitant to use it. I'm not, but that's neither here nor there. This knife, absolutely, I drag it out and I use it for stuff. It rides around in my pocket. I carry it all the time, and I absolutely love it. So really similar designs, but in this case, the cheaper model is much better. Now, there's a couple other knives that I had out, and we're going to look at them just from the similarity standpoint of another really similar knife that by accident became, they could be cousins. They're definitely siblings of some sort. Well, actually, there's three. We'll put this one out in a minute and I'll show you. So these are very, very similar knives. Very, very similar. There was no way that these knives were duplicated because these knives came out just about the same time, right? So this is the Oaks Works EDX Osprey. This is a great, great knife. Eric Oaks gave me this knife, and it's a nice hollow ground M390 blade. This is a Ferrum Forge Knife Works Elliott Williamson's Stinger. Now, this knife came out before this knife, the original version, but Eric had already had a couple knives really similar to this that he had designed. And they're in no way, shape, or form a counterfeit or a knockoff of each other. Just very, very similar. Blade shape, really similar. Handle style, really similar. Both immensely comfortable. And then I am guilty of this as well, designed a knife that is really similar to both of them. So there's all these things that happen in the knife world, and people are like, oh, people like to oh, that's a knockoff this, that's a knockoff that. 9 times out of 10, it's really not. These design features are just universally comfortable. The way these handles are shaped, universally comfortable. The way the finger guards are, the placement of the flipper tab, the blade shape, something that you're going to have in common on a lot of knives. These feel very similar in hand. This one, I absolutely learned how to make knives from Elliott Williamson. So my knives are going to be similar to a lot of the design language you get from Fair and Forged Knife Works. The fact that they're similar does not mean anything bad was happening. These guys did not duplicate each other's knives. And I really wanted to do this because I get frustrated when people say that. And I should have said that closer to the beginning of the video. But just because a knife is similar does not mean that it was a copy or a knockoff. And people just get almost offended by the fact that knives are similar. At this point, there's so many knife designs out there, it's almost impossible. It is almost impossible for them not to be similar. And like I said, even I am guilty of using design cues that I find comfortable. And like I said, the lineage of this, because Elliott Williamson taught me how to make knives, is absolutely going to be similar. So don't get all bent around the axle when you see this. It can happen completely by accident. Now, you guys know that we just saw a video about an actual clone and knockoff. This is a different animal. That's not what we're talking about here. So this is just something fun I was doing the morning before, the day before Thanksgiving, and I had these out, and I just thought it would be fun to just point out these similarities and things like that. So guys, have a happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. I'm going to turn this around. We're going to do some final thoughts, and I'll send you out about your day. Just a real quick video that I've wanted to do for a while. So, yeah, there you go, guys. None of these knives are copies. None of them are. I personally like the PMP Big Boy much better than the Shirogorov, and at a price point that's so much lower, you just can't beat it. So before we go, I would like to wish everyone a belated happy Thanksgiving. I don't know if I'm going to do anything tomorrow on Thanksgiving, but I just want to let you know now, happy Thanksgiving. So guys, that's it on this one. Tons of stuff down below to support the channel. Affiliate links everywhere down below. Support the channel. Don't cost you anything extra at checkout. Take that Amazon store, pin it to your browser. Use it all for all of your Black Friday and after Black Friday shopping. There's a couple of links that do have discounts built into them. Coffee Brand Coffee, Tempered Trail. Use those links. Saves you automatically. You don't have to do anything else. I also have a coupon code, crazysharp, all one word, saves you 10% at Fair and Forged Knife Works, 10% at Rosecraft Blades, and 10% at KATSU Knives, who are making that prototype you saw in the video. If you want to join the membership, I do exclusive content, and you have early access to videos the second they go up, even before I make the thumbnails for them. Other than that, guys, you can join my public Discord. It says join the community down below. Guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comments section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I will see you in the next amazing video.